You're listening to the Doctor Is In podcast, brought to you by MartinClinic.com. During the episode, the doctors share a lot of information. As awesome as the info may be, it is not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any disease. It's strictly for informational purposes.
Well, good morning, everyone. On lockdown, shutdown, the world is shut down. The new world order, I call it. Crazy, eh? We live in very, very fascinating times. Anyway, it's the way it is, and make the best of it, guys. We've had some good weather here in Northern Ontario for the last 4 or 5 days. Been very nice. Sun's out. You'll see on a lot of it, if you're on social media at all, with the theme, people put their picture there and they have underneath, stay home, save lives, right? No. I was never so excited on Saturday to go to a grocery store. To line up. I actually lined up twice. One to go into a grocery store and the other one to go into Canadian Tire. I was happy to do it. Like, woo, the world is gone crazy. I can't even, two people from the same family can't go into Costco anymore, starting today, I believe. And they're going to police it. Guys, look, don't come after me, okay? I just think they've gone over the top. But let me just say one thing, okay? And I just want to say this. I get it, stay at home, and in a way they're right, stay home. Like, you want to, but do they really mean stay in your house? You don't want to stay in your house for your immune system. I mean, anybody, I don't know. You don't have to go to medical school. I don't think there's anybody in the world that would argue with this point. Get outside. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I get it. Practice isolation. Not isolation, but practice distancing. I get that. But when they tell you to stay home, is that what they meant? Stay home and don't go outside? Some people are saying that. Some people are saying don't go out, like you shouldn't really go outside. That's the worst stinking thing you could do, I get uptight with people like... You're not telling people to stay inside, are you? Guys, this is craziness. You got to get outside and get some fresh air. COVID-19 is not transmitted by air. It's touch. Oh, anyway, I get uptight because I hear people, some people are the secret police. They've been self-deputized. And I don't know if they think they're smarter than the rest of the world, but everybody's stupid except them. It drives me crazy. And they're squealing on their neighbors. Like, what are you doing outside? Well, outside is the best place you can be. Anyway. Okay, what are we talking about this morning? We're going to just talk about why are old people... Anybody, again, if sometimes because all you see are numbers coming up, and especially if you're on Facebook or social media, you'll see, look, the vast majority of people that get this COVID-19 are not sick. That's the vast majority. And there's a percentage that, get symptoms. And then there's a small percentage that get really sick and they need hospitalization and bed. Look, I'm not saying any of that is not true. I'm just saying, but guys, why is it that old people especially are susceptible to this? Why is it that old people are susceptible to the dangerous COVID-19, because it's dangerous for them. It's interesting in this particular virus that young people generally, and I know 2 girls in Texas got it, we're little kids. No, don't tell me that. Because in anything, the flu, kills hundreds of thousands of people a year. And kids, they get the flu, but they usually don't get, they get sick, but they don't get crazy sick, right? What is it about old people, guys? I want to talk to you about that this morning. I was sent to me early this morning that, again, I don't want to get too stupid, but it's on the website of the Canadian Dietetic Association. Okay, what are they saying? Food does not help the immune system. Again, I have to calm myself down, okay? The food, generally, here's the headline. Food, you can go on their website. It says, COVID-19, nothing you can do. Wash your hands, stay home, and practice social distancing when you do get out. You go to the grocery store, practice social distancing. Okay, I get that. But I want to bring some logic here into the discussion, some logic. We talked about going outside, how important that is for you. But why is it that seniors, generally as a group, are much more susceptible to this virus or any virus? Why is that? So let's go backwards a little bit so that you can logically understand why seniors, and guys, this has everything to do with food. Everything to do with food. But they're not discussing that. You're not going to hear that generally, other than seniors, what they're saying really is, why are the schools closed? Okay? Why are schools closed? Okay, just logically, why? Well, it's not that they're worried about the kids getting sick, okay? Because maybe you haven't heard that, but kids don't get sick generally from this. So you don't close the schools. When it's the flu season, do they close the schools? Of course not. Why are they closing the schools for COVID-19? Well, they don't want the child to go home to grandma and grandpa and give it to them. That's why. But why grandma? And I'm a grandparent and I'm a great-grandparent. Okay? So someone said to me when I talk about locking down the seniors, they're talking about you. I never see myself like a senior too much, except on social media or when I'm trying to do something on a computer, or me. I can't. I'm a dinosaur when it comes to that. But I generally look at myself like I feel good. I take care of myself generally, and I feel that I'm very strong. So I don't lump myself with other people so much, like the seniors. I like the senior discounts, by the way. But I don't necessarily lump myself in with seniors as far as my immune system goes. Okay? So you guys get that. You understand that. For me, okay? So why are seniors, and I mean older seniors maybe, why are they so susceptible to this virus? Well, obviously it has to do with their immune system. True or false? True. Now, according to the Dietetic Association, nothing you do in food has anything to do with your immune system. I just about fell over when I read it. I can't understand why people who are educated in food would make a blank statement like that. I mean, it's beyond my imagination that anybody would even do something like that or say something like that. Because the reason seniors have sort of what we call a susceptibility to this virus and any other virus, and by the way, just statistically, look it up yourself. The flu has killed more people this year than COVID-19. Now, that doesn't fit the narrative of the 24-hour media cycle. It doesn't fit the narrative, and we've never closed everything else down. Anyway, I don't care. It's already happened, so don't come after me about that. I didn't make those decisions. I just want to give you some clarity. Why is it that seniors in particular, and even in Italy, guys, I know there was young people dying in Italy. I know that. But mostly, and I mean the vast majority of people that died in Italy were over 80 years old. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. If you can get to some statistics over there. And it was bad. I'm not minimizing that. But in Italy, they're 12 to 15 years on average older than we are. I talked to you about that in the past. But what is it about older people, okay? Why is it? Guys, it has everything to do with food. Everything to do with food. Not nothing to do with food. Everything to do with food. And here's why. As you get older, something happens in your digestive system. You know what it is? You secrete less acidity in your stomach and less enzymes from your pancreas. That is just a fact. You secrete less acidity in your stomach and less lipase, amylase, protease that break down food. That's what happens as you get older. You don't break down food. And if you don't break down food, stomach acidity, the only place you want to be acidic in your whole body is in your stomach. Your stomach is a furnace. You want that. That's why people that take antacids, oh doc, I got to take an antacid, otherwise the acidity. Well, your acidity in your stomach is not that high. Actually, that's not why you're taking an antacid. As a matter of fact, your acidity in your stomach is too low and your body's smart. It's just trying to make more. The problem with that is those proton pumps, okay, proton pumps are in your stomach and they release acid. The problem is when you don't have enough acid in your stomach, your proton pumps secrete more and then it goes up the esophagus. And that's how you get heartburn. And then you take an antacid to lower the acidity. Oh, you might feel better, but you're not fixing the problem. If you are not a senior, an older person, and you have stomach acid reflux, the number one cause of acid reflux is not too much acidity, it's too little acidity, and the proton pumps are not secreting enough acid in your stomach until they do way too much of it to send it up into it's not staying in the stomach, it's going up into the esophagus. What's the primary cause of that? When you're younger, not enough acidity and you get acid. Guys, if you have acid reflux, you have a problem with insulin. It's your pancreas. Not only the enzymes, lipase, amylase, protease. So I know I'm off on a little rabbit trail. Let me come back. So when you are an older person, they don't have enough stomach acidity and they don't secrete enough enzymes, amylase, protease, lipase generally, they don't break down their food properly. And when you don't break down your food properly, you are going to be deficient in certain nutrients that affect your immune system. You got it? So when a senior, this is why I tell you all the time. Okay? This is why I tell you all the time. If I could get into every senior home, I'd bring a couple of vitamins with me. right? Vitamin D. Vitamin D. You see, I know vitamin D comes from the sun, and guess what? Old people, especially in that generation, my generation, okay, because I'm putting myself in that generation now, okay? We drank the Kool-Aid. Generally, people my age and older, we're the generation that drank the Kool-Aid. Oh, the sun, it's bad for you. It's going to give you skin cancer. That came out of the 1970s. And the whole world went for it. Get out of the sun, it'll give you skin cancer. Brought to you by Johnson & Johnson, who were making sunscreen at the time. Guys, I'm old enough to tell you the advent of these things. Okay? All I'm saying to you is this, what am I saying? Seniors, they don't get vitamin D. And you do get vitamin D, by the way. You get some from your diet, obviously. From fish, steak, eggs, and cheese. Has Dr. Martin ever said that before to you? Eggs, meat, and cheese. Do you know that vitamin D is not found in plants? It's found in the animal kingdom. So why am I always talking about it? Because it's in the animal kingdom. It's in the animal kingdom. So people that get older, and by the way, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. It's fat-soluble. What's that mean? Well, it needs to be broken down. It's not water-soluble. Like, some vitamins are water-soluble, but not vitamin D and not vitamin A. They're fat-soluble. You need a good gut. You need a good stomach. You need enough enzymes even. I know vitamin D comes in on your skin, but it's processed in through the gut. And that's why you have a stomach, guys. Your stomach is there to break food down, to mulch it, and to acidify it so that it gets broken down into a soup. But seniors, like older people, pas moi, that's what happens, guys. And to say that food isn't part of your immune, it's everything to do with your immune system. Vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin K. People that don't break these things down and they don't get enough nutrition as you get older because of the deficiencies I talked to you about. Do you know that B12 is a water-soluble vitamin, but always take B12 and separate it from all other vitamins. I'll tell you why. Because B12, first of all, in a structural sense, is a very large vitamin, okay? And on the best of days, B12 is a very finicky vitamin. If you got any issues with your stomach, you're not really absorbing B12. If you are on an antacid, you are not getting B12. 100%. If you don't eat red meat, you're not getting B12. Don't fool yourself. There's not enough B12 in the plant kingdom to feed a mouse. A mouse couldn't live on the B12 in the plant kingdom. So don't fool yourself. And without B12, by the way, do you know that B12 actually coats your cells to help you, to protect you from viruses? You think it's important for your immune system? And nobody's talking about that? Are you kidding me? You know another deficiency that we see a lot in seniors? They are deficient in vitamin A. They are deficient in vitamin D. They are deficient in B12. They are extremely deficient in, usually in magnesium. And they are deficient in zinc. Now, we talked to you about the importance of zinc. As a matter of fact, if you go back a few podcasts ago, I talked about some doctors are in New York were adding zinc to hydroxychloroquine, right? They were adding that to the malaria drug and to the antibiotic. They were adding zinc, because you only have to go to nutritional school for one day to understand the importance of zinc in the immune system. I mean, zinc does other things, but you need zinc for your immune system. Now, guess where zinc is found in foods? Eggs, meat, and cheese. I know! Dr. Martin, you're such a one-track pony. I know, I get it. But guys, you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And to say, and as a matter of fact, isn't it crazy that with COVID-19, it has closed the world down, and there's not a doctor in the universe that wouldn't say that older people are much more susceptible to this virus. And yet they don't tell old people other than lock them down, lock them down. Don't let the kids go to school so that they can bring that virus back to grandma and grandpa. Nobody's saying that other than lock them down and wash their hands and wash their hands and social distancing. You can't get into the homes. They've locked the homes down. True or false? Yes, they have. And they're not talking about why are they susceptible. Why? They're not talking about that. You see how I get my workout in the morning? I get my blood pressure going because I get crazy. I go, are you kidding me? Nobody's talking about why older people, what happens inside their body that their immune system goes down. Well, it has everything to do with, it's not even what you eat, guys, it's what you're absorbing, right? So I guess if I could get into every senior home, I'd bring with me a few vitamins and vitamin S from the Martin Clinic. You know what vitamin S is? Steak. It's the highest source of zinc. But I know you guys are listening, and I appreciate it. Believe me when I tell you that. I appreciate it that you would listen to to my rants in the morning. Now, prayerfully, we're going to be doing it every morning at 8:30. Okay. If you have questions, we're going to try and answer all your questions. So send your questions in. If you're not part of our private Facebook group, come in there and I will try and answer all your questions. Okay, so we love you guys.
You've reached the end of another Doctor is In podcast with your hosts, Dr. Martin Jr. and Sr. Be sure to catch our next episode, and thanks for listening.